YouTube, it's me, Bergie, and I am here with my review, my non-spoiler review for Magnus Chase and the Hammer of Thor by Rick Riordan. Now, first off, I know I'm a couple days late. Usually I get a review out the day the book comes out because I usually spend all day reading and I make sure to finish it because, as I've said numerous times, I am very competitive when it comes to Rick Riordan books. However, this whole week has been freaking hell. The night before this book came out, I was in a bad mood. I was like very emotional. And to make matters worse, that night a spider just like fell right near my head. And I'm very much a daughter of Athena when it comes to spiders. So I had such like a panic attack. I had like a little mental break because a spider nearly fell on my head. And it was way too close for comfort. Way too close. So I ended up not going to sleep until like 3 in the morning. So during that time I did buy the book on my Kindle, but I didn't proceed to read it until after I finally drifted off to sleep and woke up, which was like around 12, so I didn't really have that much time to read it during the day. Like, usually when a Rick Riordan book comes out, I wake up at like 9 or 8:30 if I can, so that way I can spend literally all day reading. So that didn't happen, and because of that, I was also sleep deprived, so I didn't get to finish it yesterday either, so yeah, I'm behind, I know. But anyway, I'm here now. So let's get on to the non-spoiler review of this book. So, first off, I should have reread Magnus Chase and the Sword of Summer because I honestly do not remember anything that happened in the previous book. I know Magnus was the main character, that's about it. So if you have not read Magnus Chase and the Sword of Summer in like the past 6 months, I would definitely reread it before you read Magnus Chase and the Hammer of Thor. For some reason I can't get that. I always want to say the Thor of Hammer, but that is not right. But yeah, I would definitely recommend rereading the book, especially if you're not as good with Norse mythology as I am. I'm not good with them at all. My mythology of choice is Greek. So anyway, if you do not know, this series by Rick Riordan is following Magnus Chase, who narrates the story, and his encounters with Norse mythology and gods. I'm not going to go into much more because that would be very spoilery. So if you want a better summary of this, go to my spoiler review, but tread with caution because spoilers will be dropped. Again, I have no real knowledge of Norse mythology. Greek mythology has always been my strong point, so for that reason, I was kind of confused with what was going on because so many names and words were thrown at me that I did not really know. And Rick Riordan, he doesn't really explain much in the books, but I have to say this, I didn't realize this until I finished reading the book, which was a little too late, but he has a glossary, a pronunciation guide, words guide, and a runes guide at the back of the book. Now, I was reading on my Kindle, so I really didn't have as much ease flipping back and forth, so it kind of was less helpful. But if you are reading it from a book, you have that there, and it's a lot easier to flip back and forth to. So I would definitely recommend using those pages that he gives you, because in hindsight, that would have been helpful had I known that it was there. I rate this book as a B. Now, this might be an overshoot, it might be an undershoot. I'm not really sure. Like I said, I was having a bad couple of days, so I'm not really sure my mindset was it was in the right mindset. I don't think I was in the right mindset. So that might have affected it. The book might be much better than I think. It might be much worse. I really don't know. But anyway, so I gave it a B rating or a 4 stars on Goodreads. Now, I'll give non-spoiler reasons why I gave this rating. One, like I said, I've been in a bad mood. That just might have caused me to not like this book as much. And if that is the case, I really do apologize, because I know Rick Riordan is amazing. He is like, he's the king of books. J.K. Rowling is the queen, Rick Riordan is the king. So I always love his books, so I think it might just be me. However, it does kind of have a very similar feel to other Rick Riordan mythology books. Like, there were some similarities between this book and Percy Jackson, the Olympian series, or between this book and the Heroes of Olympus. It just didn't have anything I thought was very unique. The plot wasn't very unique. A lot of the characters kind of were not very strong or unique. So, again, I don't mean to be negative, but that's just how I felt while I was reading the book. And again, it could have been because of my mood. As well, it felt like Rick Riordan was forcing himself to kind of address social issues. Now, don't get me wrong, people need to address these kind of social issues. I won't go into them in detail now, because again, that'll be spoilery, but he does address them, and on the one hand, that's very nice. On the other hand, it feels forced, and it doesn't kind of really help the social issues because it feels so forced. Like, it shouldn't feel like a flashing sign. It should kind of just fall in place into the character and feel like natural that it's there, but that wasn't the case. Okay, so I had to fix this because I rewatched my recording and half of it was very blurry. So I'm going to try to get back to where I think I left off. So, I felt like this was a very long book, and I felt like it had no reason to be long. There were like a couple of times throughout the time that I was reading this book where I was like, holy crap, when is this going to end? I feel like it should be ending like the next chapter or the chapter after that, but there's still nothing going on, so it was just really way too long. And I do realize a lot of the chapters were very short, but still, I think it was in the 50s how many chapters there were, and I felt like there was nothing really important going on that required that many chapters. However, on the positive side, I always enjoy Rick Riordan's pop culture references, and in this one he did not disappoint, and I just love it. That's one of the ways I know I'm reading a Rick Riordan book, all the pop culture references that are included. And finally, that ending though, I can't of course go into it much because that is definitely a spoiler, but that ending was the life of this book. If that ending was not there, I probably would have given this a rating of a C or C-, and that would have sucked, but this ending brought this book to a higher level. It elevated it so much, and I'm so glad that that's how it ended, even though I'm kind of pissed off because now I can't wait for the third book to come out. But yeah, Rick Riordan really knows how to end a book with cliffhangers and make his readers want more, and that's again what happened here. So overall, I'm giving this book the benefit of the doubt. I was reading it in a time where I was not in a good mindset, so I probably did not give it the rating it deserves, whether that be I undershot it or I overshot it. I don't know. I'll have to read it again. I'll have to read the whole series again, I think, to get a better feel for the book. However, I still feel like there were some issues with it, and I hope I conveyed them to you in a way that kind of makes you more prepared for what happens, or how I felt the book was. So yeah, that's basically it. I will have my spoiler review up soon if you want to watch that, so stay tuned, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!